Well, the project itself is focused on 3 endangered seabirds on Kauai. We've got the Hawaiian petrel, the Newell shearwater, and the band rump storm petrel. The Newell shearwater, which is not to be confused with the much more common wedge-tailed shearwater, is really a Kauai specialty. We've got 90% of the world population here. And both them and the Hawaiian petrels are actually doing really badly at the moment. We know this through a number of means, but one of our main ways is radar. And with radar, we've been doing surveys at the same spots for over 20 years now, so since '93. There were radar surveys being done on these spots in '93, and we've continued those from 2006 onwards. And we've seen this huge decline in the numbers of Newell shearwaters and also Hawaiian petrels over that period of time. Declines across the board, up to 80–90% at some sites.
Birds crossing these 7 transect flight directions of 160, minimum distance of 4, 30 miles an hour straight lines.
So we're surveying for birds in this valley as they come in from the sea and go to their burrows up in the mountains. And we're using the radar to do that.
1955,
across the
birds
screen
crossing these 7
as
transect
little
flight
dots.
directions of 160, minimum distance of 14, 35 miles an hour straight lines.
Yeah, so they started doing these kind of surveys in 1993, and it's the longest running and the only project we currently have going that shows us island-wide population dynamics for these species, and have really showed their decline since it started. So it's really important to get these bigger pictures, because a lot of the other work we do is more on the ground, more small scale, and this gives us the broad spectrum idea of how these populations are actually doing on this island.
1945, 1 bird crossing the 7 transect flight direction of 175, minimum distance of 30 miles an hour straight.
We see what kind of burrows are being used every year, and we put cameras out to see if they get predated on and try and get a better, smaller picture idea of what's happening in a lot of these valleys. It's mostly introduced predators, so these birds get eaten a lot by cats, and the chicks get predated by rats, and then even the pigs will go up there and eat them. So what's really hurting them is the fact that these predators are up there. Invasive plant species they like that native aluhe fern vegetation. They like to crawl under it and hide their burrows there. And invasive plants have kind of taken away a lot of those nice pristine stands of aluhe that they seem to really like.
As they pass back and forth each day at night to go up to their colonies, they collide with power lines. When the chicks are fledgling, they fall out. So what that means is that the chicks they're leaving the darkness of the interior of the island, and they're heading out towards the sea, and they're using the moon and the stars as navigation, and they get confused by the lights of the big cities, and then they end up on the ground. Once they're on the ground, they can't take off. They get eaten by cats, run over by cars.
Yeah, it's not really working out so well for them.
1957, 1 bird crossing the 7 transect flight direction of 230, minimum distance of 0, 30 miles an hour straight line.
It feels really cool. I've never really worked on a project quite like this before, and it feels good to know that you're working for something to really help this species come back, and this species that is endemic to Hawaii, so you can't find birds anywhere else in the world, and that's pretty cool.